Welcome to a fascinating journey into a chapter of history you probably didn't expect. The remarkable and often overlooked influence of the Irish on Russia. Yes, you heard that right. The Emerald Isle left its mark on the vast and mysterious lands of the Russian Empire, shaping it in ways that are surprising and in some cases downright extraordinary. Now, it's easy to think of the Irish as impacting places like America, Britain, or even Australia, but Russia, absolutely. The Irish spirit of adventure, intellect and resilience didn't stop at the shores of Western Europe. It travelled across Europe, from the military barracks to the royal courts, and yes, even into the heart of Russian culture itself. Irish monks and missionaries played a major role in spreading Christianity across Europe, and their spiritual legacy touched Russia through shared Christian traditions that shaped the Eastern Orthodox world. But today, we're focusing on the later waves of Irish men and women who made their way to Russia, leaving an undeniable imprint. From legendary generals who forged Russia's military might, to diplomats brokering peace and filmmakers bringing Russian folklore to life. This is a tale of unexpected connections and remarkable achievements. Buckle up as we dive into the fascinating ways the Irish helped shape the Russian Empire. Let's kick things off with one of the most visible and dramatic ways the Irish influenced Russia. On the battlefield. The Irish have a long and storied military tradition, and their legacy in Russia is no exception. One of the most prominent Irish figures to ever serve in the Russian military was Count Peter Lacy. Born in Limerick, Ireland, Lacy's path took him far from his homeland, eventually leading him to the very heart of the Russian Empire. Considered one of the most successful Russian imperial commanders in a military career that spanned half a century, he claimed to have participated in 31 campaigns, 18 battles and 18 sieges. Lacy rose to the rank of Field Marshal under Peter the Great, playing a pivotal role in Russia's victory in the Great Northern War, where Russia crushed Sweden to emerge as a European powerhouse. Lacy didn't stop there. He was instrumental in expanding Russia's territory in the Ottoman Wars, where his military genius shone. However, with this brilliance came controversy. Lacy's campaigns, particularly in Livonia, were notoriously brutal. He earned a reputation for being ruthless, a characteristic that marked his military career and brought Russia its victories, but at a high human cost. Yet despite the controversies, Lacy is remembered as one of the great military architects of Russian power in Europe. Maurice Dei, who is a descendant of the Lacy family, is another notable figure. Though primarily known for his service in the Austrian army, he also served as a military advisor in Catherine the Great's Russian army. His kinsmen included notable immigrant soldiers in Russia, and taking advantage of these connections, he obtained a commission in the Russian army. He fought against the Turks and attained general's rank. He held command under Marshal Alexander Suvorov in the campaigns against the French in Switzerland and Italy. His strategic expertise helped modernize military tactics, further solidifying the Irish contributions to Russian military strength. While his service in Russia was shorter compared to other Irish figures, his influence extended beyond battlefields, contributing to the development of military strategy across Europe. A name that might not be as well known, but deserves recognition, is Joseph Cornelius O'Rourke, a descendant of Irish nobility. O'Rourke's military career reached its peak during the Napoleonic Wars, where he distinguished himself in multiple battles, earning accolades for his strategic brilliance. His contributions didn't end with Napoleon's defeat. He also played a crucial role in the Russo-Turkish Wars, securing Russia's position in the region. O'Rourke's career is a testament to how Irish talent could thrive even in foreign lands. Each of these Irish-born generals contributed to Russia's rise as a European power. Whether through battlefield brilliance or navigating the complexities of Russian politics, these men brought their own brand of Irish resilience and strategic genius to the Russian Empire. But the Irish influence didn't end with the military. Now, let's step into another unexpected area where the Irish left their mark: Russian culture and the arts. The Irish influence on Russia didn't stop at the military and diplomatic circles. It also extended into the realm of culture, where the Irish left an imprint on music, cinema and architecture. Let's dive into some of the most intriguing figures whose contributions helped shape Russian cultural history. First on this cultural journey is the remarkable John Field, an Irish-born composer and pianist who is often considered the father of the nocturne. You may know that the nocturne is a dreamy, expressive musical form that was later popularized by composers like Frédéric Chopin. But it was John Field who first brought this style to life. Field's career took him to Russia, where he spent much of his life, becoming one of the most respected musicians in St. Petersburg. His works were deeply admired, and he is credited with laying the foundation for the flourishing of piano music in Russia. Field's influence wasn't just limited to the concert hall. His teaching helped cultivate the next generation of Russian pianists, leaving a lasting legacy in the country's musical tradition. However, Field's life wasn't without challenges. Despite his talent, he struggled with alcoholism, which affected his later career and personal life. Even so, his musical genius shone through, and he remains a pivotal figure in the history of classical music, both in Russia and beyond. Next, we move to the world of film, where the Irish-descended Alexander Roux revolutionized Russian cinema. Roux's father was Irish, and although Roux was born and raised in Russia, his heritage played a part in shaping his unique vision. Roux became a pioneering Soviet film director, most famous for his fantasy films that brought Russian folklore to the silver screen. Roux's works, like Kashtche the Immortal and Morozko, were wildly popular in the Soviet Union. He specialized in adapting traditional Russian fairy tales, creating visually stunning and engaging films that became classics for generations of viewers. Roux's ability to tap into Russian folklore and give it a cinematic life helped preserve and spread traditional stories at a time when much of the cultural landscape was being reshaped by Soviet ideology. While Roux wasn't directly embroiled in controversy, he did have to navigate the restrictions of Soviet censorship. His films had to align with Soviet values, and at times folklore had to be molded to fit ideological narratives. Despite these challenges, Roux maintained his artistic integrity, and his legacy as the father of Soviet fantasy cinema remains strong to this day. From classical music to fantasy cinema and infrastructure development, the Irish influence on Russian culture was as varied as it was profound. Whether through the emotionally charged nocturnes of John Field or the magical worlds created by Alexander Roux, the Irish helped shape a unique part of Russia's artistic and cultural heritage. And there you have it, an often overlooked story of how the Irish helped shape Russia. From the fierce battlefields where Irish-born generals like Peter Lacy helped build the empire's military might, to the delicate halls of culture, the Irish played vital roles in Russia's history, leaving a lasting legacy that still resonates today. We've explored their impact on culture with musical pioneers like John Field and cinematic innovators like Alexander Roux, and seen how Irish generals contributed to Russia's political and military leadership. The Irish influence on Russia may not always be as much as their influence elsewhere, but it's a story that deserves to be told. So the next time you think about Russia's powerful history, remember the surprising role that the Irish played in shaping this vast and complex empire. Thank you for joining me on this journey. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories that uncover the hidden connections that shaped our world.